It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I've not reviewed a Beavertown beer in well over a year. I remember back in May 2023, Tesco had this rather big launch for Beavertown. I think it did okay. I think plenty of people bought it. They're now majority owned by Heineken, so there will be a certain amount of people, probably including not that I'm against Heineken, it's more to do with the fact that I'd rather give my money to maybe a smaller independent brewer, or I'd rather give my money to Lidl. I'd rather pop to Lidl and buy a little beer these days than plump down £3.50, £3.75 for a Beavertown beer in Tesco in a fancy can. And that's just where I am. That's just where I sit in the market. There will be plenty of people in the market that think that they're seeing this wonderful new brewery crop up from somewhere, but it's being cropped up from somewhere. It's ended up in your pub. In like, I can buy a pint of neck oil in a pub about 20 minutes walk away, and it's a Marston's pub. And Marston's are quite closely tied in with I'm sure Carlsberg Marston. So yeah, they've got some Heineken beer in as well. They've got some Beavertown there. So anyway, point is, I don't drink so much Beavertown beer anymore. But that's not to say that I'm not curious. I am very curious about this beer. This is a Beavertown ex Climpson and Sons espresso coffee stout at 6% ABV. Why do I have it? Why did I go to Waitrose? I went to Waitrose to pick up my dad a bottle of the Master Hen by Moreland Green King for Father's Day last week. And I had a little wander down the beer aisle and I seen that they had this, and I thought, you know, while I've travelled 9 miles there and back, I might as well pick up a can of this while I'm there. So the point is, there's still intrigue. There's still a little bit of intrigue from me as to what does a Heineken-backed Beavertown Brewery espresso coffee stout look like, smell like, and taste like. And that's why we're here, fundamentally. That's why we're here. We're here for the beer. 2-finger, tan-coloured head, jet black beer in the glass. Small amounts of carbonation as the beer rocks back and forth. Let's get the aroma. Now, the headline, I think it was 2016, I think it was. The headline was Beavertown sell a 45% stake in their brewery, about 45% stake in their brewery to Heineken for £40 million. It's a lot of money, isn't it? It smells okay. It smells like a coffee stout, to be honest. Roasty and toasty. Some roasted malt in there, a little bit of sweet malt. Comes through as caramel and the aroma. Coffee. That could be coffee from the roasted malt. That could be coffee from the espresso that they've used. And a little bit of kind of cacao, like a bitter dark chocolate coming through. Smells good. Good head retention. Available in Waitrose. £3.50-ish a can. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Quite thin. Yeah, it's quite thin. Come on, man. Come on, Beavertown. So let's cover the beer very quickly. We'll cover the beer quickly, and then we'll cover to why I'm frustrated. Why am I so frustrated after the first sip? The beer's quite thin. It's quite disappointing in just how thin it is. There's not really that much going on. There's a little bit of coffee, there's a bit of roastiness coming through. It doesn't taste like a 6% ABV beer. It doesn't have the body of a 6% ABV beer. It wasn't a coincidence. There was no coincidence at all why Heineken come along and purchased Beavertown Brewery. When Beavertown Brewery were independent, they were producing some of the finest beers in the whole of the UK, in the whole of the world. Whenever Beavertown had a release, everybody was on it. Literally, every man and a dog that was interested in beer before the Heineken takeover, that followed Beavertown on Instagram or Facebook, wherever else they were buying Beavertown beer. It was tremendous. It was fantastic. It was expensive, but it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Probably not expensive in today's market. Probably not as expensive as probably £4 or £5 a can, which, I mean, you kind of see that in the supermarkets these days. But back then, direct from their website, it was great beer. It was fantastic. It was like some of the finest liquids that a beer producer could produce was coming from Beavertown. So Heineken come along, swooped them up, bought them. And here we are today, really, standing here in front of a camera, drinking a beer that I was hoping would have some of that Beavertown soul, would have some of that kind of like excitement from Beavertown's past, where they were a fantastic brewer. But I'm just left disappointed. And the reason why I'm left disappointed, and I'm looking at you, Heineken, if you're watching, is that it's a bit like, you know, the Grand Prix, the Formula One. You know when they spray bottles of that fine champagne over each other? I can't remember the name of the champagne now. I see it every single week when I'm watching the Formula One. Anyway, my point is here is that it's like Heineken buying that quality champagne maker and then going, haha, we're going to ruin you. We're going to make your champagne so bad that nobody's going to want to buy it. What's the point? What is the point of a company like Heineken buying a champagne maker in that, you know, I can't remember the name of the damn stuff, and then making it rubbish? What's the point? That's exactly what they paid £40 million of their own money to make Beavertown one of the world's greatest breweries. It wasn't overnight, it took a few months. Rubbish. I remember having a gamma ray after the Heineken buyout in Cardiff, in the sunshine, looking forward to it, and I tasted it straight away and I was like, no, it's changed. And everybody around, it wasn't just me, everybody around the table said, this is not tasting like Gamma Ray. That was their premium IPA of the time. It's just not tasting the same. It's not tasting the same as it did. And so they've basically taken Beavertown from the very top of craft beer to, like, people see it on the supermarket shelves now and go, no, I'll give it a miss. I'll buy something else. And that's what it is. That's where it is. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, but if there's one company out there that I don't really care that they've wasted £40 million of their own money, is Heineken. I couldn't give. Actually, I kind of find it quite funny. Actually, I kind of find it quite funny that Heineken have wasted their money. It's all right, Stout. It's all right, Stout. It's 6%. It's thin. There's a little bit of coffee flavour. There's not much else going on. It's a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.